Besides sending the police, you might want to send an ambulance or a hearse.
I love how it does when the Saints go marching in after that, like he's in a band in the parade. But anyway, hello, Billy Ho 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 here, coming at you with the Saturday DraftKings matchup show. We're going to go over all the games again and try to toss in some injuries and whatnot. And just before we get started, I wanted to wish Flophouse Discord happy holidays, Merry Christmas, all that good stuff. Happy New Year, and I want to make 2023 shine. I want to win some money myself, help out the Discord and all the peeps, win some money too. So let's get it started this weekend. How about it? We'll look at some games, and we'll go in the same order we did the other day. Start with the Philly-Dallas game. Obviously, we know Jalen Hurts ruled out. We kind of thought that earlier in the week, so we were kind of building with the Minshew walk scenario there. So we're looking at that. I did want to say one significant injury. Of course, the Cowboys secondary with Anthony Brown out. Diggs is their best guy. Jonathan Joseph was the dude that cost him that big touchdown when he tried to jump the route, and then Zay Jones scored, and then we turned it over, and Dallas got scored on again, and then they ultimately lost that game on that crazy-ass fluke of interception. And that can happen. They put themselves in that position by back-to-back 14 points given up. So they will be missing Kyle Vander Esch at the linebacking core, and he is one of their best run stoppers. With Minshew under center, I have a lot more interest in guys like Miles Sanders and even Boston Scott, or I'll try to decide. I feel like Boston Scott is more snaps and more volume than Kenneth Gainwell. But Gainwell gets in there too, so it's really going to be tough. If you play anybody, I think I'm going to probably play Sanders. On the other side of the ball, I think even with Minshew, he gives you a way to stack both A.J. Brown and Devonta Smith. Now you add in Goddard. Goddard was a favorite target of Minshew when he played. So I can see him utilizing Goddard right out of the gate. So that's an interesting play. And Goddard is not exactly priced all that cheap. Let's take a quick look at some of these guys here. Goddard is 4,500. And so first game back since week 10, I think he'll jump right in, be honest. Then you have Schultz, who I do like on the other side of the ball. I like the running backs on both sides. Honestly, Elliott better than Pollard, basically because they get the same volume. They have the same touchdown upside, and Elliott gets more snaps and he gets more goal line carries. They just will ground and pound Elliott. And this might be one of those games where they do 3 yards in a cloud of dust because their defense is still going to be good enough to get after Minshew. And maybe he struggles. That's why I'm not going to exactly go looking to double stack this game with Minshew. What I'll probably do is maybe play some pieces of the game, or I might try Dak. I know he's going to be popular, but he's actually 200 cheaper than Cousins in a dome. The two games I would stack the most are probably going to be the two dome games. You got Prescott, you got Minshew at 4,800, then you got Cousins and Danny Dimes, and I'll get to that game in a minute. But those are all good quarterbacks to stack. And why risk with this absolute shit show of a weather freeze going across every game? Except for one, and we'll get to that low-key game of the week, in my opinion. But Philly-Dallas, the running backs, Dak, CeeDee Lamb doing his thing. I did hear some tweets. I always get mad at Gallup because he just wallflowers it I mean, he was actually starting to, it's like he doesn't want to enjoy success. He was starting to get targeted, and then, he just kind of goes to sleep in some of these games, but he just does have limited upside. I mean, he scored 2 touchdowns in the Indianapolis game and only scored 18 points. I mean, that's just not, you'd expect a guy like Gallup to get loose. I did see some tweets from Dallas beat reporters saying they are talking about Gallup, getting him more involved in the offense. So they may do some squeaky wheel gets the grease with him. So 4,200, you could do worse. But obviously, Noah Brown is going to be more popular than him because he's cheaper and he had the big game last week. I touted him last week. He came through. I still like him. He gets all the snaps. It's Lamb, Gallup, and Brown all day with Schultz. So, there's nobody else that really. Actually, I take that back. T.Y. Hilton will be active this week. I wonder where he'll play. He's got to be on that. Well, he can run some slot. Now that I say that, I am going to backtrack and downgrade Noah Brown because I think T.Y. Hilton will run out of the slot some, and he'll probably take 10 snaps from Brown. I can't see him coming right in and just going 30, 40 snaps or something crazy. But T.Y. Hilton, keep him on your radar for future endeavors. He might go 1 for 47 and a touchdown or something. I tweeted that to somebody the other day that was talking about another guy that will have one catch, like probably Jameson Williams for Detroit or something like that. But T.Y. Hilton, nobody's going to play him. He's probably a low-key, pure GPP large field punt. One catch can get you there at 3,200. They didn't even price him flat min, so that says a little something. Game number 2, we're going to jump around like we did last time, and we are going to go Seattle, Kansas City, another cold. I thought this game would be a little bit better, and the wind will probably not be as bad, but it's still going to be wind chill, and we're looking at 10 to 12 mile an hour winds, -1 wind chill. So I do give a downgrade to total score in this game. Lockett's out, obviously. The other guy to pay attention to. Actually, I don't think there's any other injuries in this game. The running backs are key. Kenneth Walker is still questionable, but I do believe he's going to be a full go. So I think he's a good play. He's a hard-nosed runner. I think he can excel in this cold weather. So who's going to be scared of the cold weather? I don't know. I picked up Jerick McKinnon in my home league, started him this week. So I'm hoping, he doesn't have to do what he did the previous 2 weeks. But if he can catch 5 or 6 balls, it's real cold. So you might be less down the field throwing from Mahomes. But Mahomes, Mahomes is Mahomes. Dude can throw it in any weather, wind, whatever. He's got a cannon for an arm. He's a baseball player. So I don't worry about him not being able to put zip on the ball, but they may still dink and dunk more than they normally would in like a 40-degree game. Kelsey's in play. Fant's in play if he's not injured too bad. I don't know what the questionable tag will be, but keep an eye on some people. Knee is likely to play. So that's probably a good sign there. So this game is really fishy. Pacheco also could get some love. He could hit a big one. I feel like he still hasn't done that yet. Like he's had a long run of 28 yards. He's supposed to be super fast. So, he hasn't broke off a 56-yard touchdown. Maybe he's due for one this week. We'll have to see. None of the other running backs interest me. Geno Smith, I have less interest. 5,800 is a good price. So you can single stack Geno and Metcalf, or you can take a guy like Goodwin. I don't know if I can dip down here. Look, flat 3K is Treadwell. I'm going to say Treadwell is the guy. He's got the most NFL experience. I don't think Penny Hart or Young should be able to beat him out of snaps. But if you're just throwing him a dart, 3K in a large field GPP, not bad. Especially with Goodwin, got a Q tag here. but I think wrist ankle likely to play. I think he'll be fine. But that's about it for that game. I want to. All right. Now, this game right here, obviously going to be the most popular one on the slate. Giants at Minnesota in the dome. So no weather concerns. Super safe. Two injuries, one on each side that I think are significant. Adoree Jackson is the best cornerback New York Giants have had. They've been without him for the last 4 weeks, and it shows because they give it up in the passing game. So I think Jefferson Thielen, KJ Osborne, and Hawkinson all in play. I love my dude KJ. He's the cheapest one. Jefferson, you almost have to lock him in as the stack with Cousins if you want to pay the 6,300. I like Danny Jones in this game, and I think you have no problem stacking him with Barkley, and you can throw in Slayton, Hodgins, or James. I don't like Bellinger at tight end. He's too expensive and for what you can get from him. But you can throw in, you can single stack if you wanted to. But I don't think Slayton's a bad idea because the injury on the cornerback for the Vikings, Cam Dantzler, has an ankle. He's questionable. He hasn't practiced all week. So if Cam Dantzler misses, then you have Slayton. So this game is pretty cut and dry. It's going to be very popular. Jones is going to be a good stack. I don't think he'll go overlooked, but he's cheap, and he can get his rushing, and he dumps it off to Barkley a ton. He throws deep to Slayton, who has the upside, and then he kind of just dinks and dunks to Hodgins and James. Hodgins is a little bit better of a red zone threat, or you can run Cousins, but it's going to cost you about 700 more. So you can find there's plenty of cheap defenses out there, so you can go that route as well, and so it is what it is. So let's go on and move to the next game. Get this video rolling. So we're going to go to Detroit, where it's colder than I first anticipated. I thought it was going to be like mid-20s, but it's still going to be down. Wind chill, -2 wind chill, 11-mile-an-hour wind. I still wouldn't mind some Goff in this game. It's Goff, St. Brown, and I believe Swift. I think this could be a Jamal Williams game. I did mention that. And then you run it back with either Moore or James, not Jameson Williams. He's still not getting enough snaps. DJ Moore or Terrence Marshall on the Carolina side. I don't like either running back. They split too much. This sounds like a Dante Foreman game to me. If he could get the 21 carries again, maybe he can pay off at 5,300. It's a tall sledding order. I didn't see any significant injuries. The cornerback for Carolina was, I think it's CJ Henderson, was questionable, but I think he was just clearing protocol, so I think he's a go. So ASB splitting slot snaps. He doesn't run 100 in the slot, by the way. Everybody thinks he's the slot guy, but he runs about 40%, I think, in the slot. So he's going to be outside some. Goff, like I said, no Darnold for me. I don't like either DST really, although Detroit is pretty solid against the run. But that's about it for that game. I'm still middle of the road. On to the next. We are going to go with probably, I think, it's kind of a tie. It's a tie between this game, Buffalo, Chicago, and the next game I'll talk about, which is New Orleans, Cleveland. New Orleans, Cleveland seems worse, but Buffalo, Chicago, frigid cold in Chicago, 25 to 40, 25 mile an hour sustained, 40 gusts. So that's just rough. I mean, you can play Allen or Fields naked, or maybe throw in a Komet or a Knox. They're still going to throw. Actually, Buffalo has a 24-point implied total, If the weather was different, they'd probably have 30. So, but the running backs are interesting. Monty getting his groove on. David Montgomery, Singletary maybe, but James Cook. I said in the Monday or Tuesday show, 4,900. I feel like he's got more breakaway. Like he can get one. I know he hasn't done it yet, but it's hard to say. He has fumbled in the past with the cold hard rock. Maybe they don't trust him. So this is kind of a mostly a stay away game. If this game beats me, so be it. But it is what it is. So that next game is the New Orleans Cleveland game. I don't really want any part of this unless I play Nick Chubb. Like he could be a great pivot off of Derrick Henry, who we'll get to, who's going to be very popular. I'm not going anywhere near anybody else. Now, Kareem Hunt might 4,900 be in play more since they are not going to, they can dump it out of the backfield to him, and they're going to have to run probably 10 more times at least. There's going to be less plays total. So maybe this 4 gets up to 12. So Kareem Hunt is on my radar if I do play, because maybe I go Henry and then you can go Kareem Hunt 4,900 as another. I think you need one cheap running back. Pay up for one, the other one cheap. So if it was Cook or if it's Kamara, not Kamara, if it's Hunt, stuff like that, that's where I'd be going. The next game up, Atlanta, let's see, Buffalo, Chicago, Cincinnati. That's going to be another cold game. Obviously, I don't think the wind is as bad. The wind is going to be tolerable. So I'm okay with that. Joe Mixon is one of your pay up guys. You got Henry, you got Mixon. Stevenson, I think, is a fade for me. And not just because of the injury. I'm glad he blew up last week, so he'll be more popular. This Cincinnati defense will flat out plug the run. So if Stevenson needs to get his through the air on about 8 or 9 dump offs, then so be it. But I'm going to let him beat me. Joe Mixon, I read an article a couple weeks back how he loves this December. He's Derrick Henry light. He runs hard. He runs over people. He likes this kind of weather, so he's gonna be a guy I'm interested in. You can always go Burrow, Chase Mixon, or whatever. Hurst may play this week. I don't like any of the tight ends, honestly. Patriots defense wouldn't be bad at 2,700. Joe Burrow does throw an interception from time to time. He makes some mistakes. So I don't see 4 touchdowns from Burrow, so I'm not playing him. This game is one of those light games, one-offs, like a Chase, like a Mixon, things of that nature. But that's about all I want to say about that game. The Atlanta-Baltimore game is another one that's obviously frigid temperatures, wind, and all that. Jackson's out. Huntley's in. I don't like Huntley. Ritter, crap. The guys that I will be in play are these top 3 guys, Patterson, Dobbins, and Allgeier, are all running backs, all run hard. Patterson does have receiving chops, so it could be possibility, even though Ritter, they didn't use him in the receiving game. This is going to be a hell of a lot of running. They may not score 20 points together. Also, Gus Bus, he's down there. But if I do play wide receivers, it's Robinson at 4K. It's London at 4,800. Are not bad. London gets a ton of targets. He's probably still going to get 8 or 10 in this game. So, you can do one-off pieces. Andrews dropping too many passes at 5,500. He might turn it around this week, but not 100% sure. But that's about it there. I guess this is the last game I'll cover, and it is low key. So I hope you stuck around. The weather is going to be fine. It's like 50s or something like that, and there's very little wind, like 3-mile-an-hour wind. The weather is going to be nice compared to the rest of these. It's the only outdoor game that ain't butt-ass freezing and windy, wind chill, besides the dome. So it's game number 3 on the slate, and they got some talent in this game. Your pivot off of Henry, right here, CMC, upside in every category, rushing, receiving, touchdowns, all of it. Brock Purdy getting it done. Heineke can throw. So all that is in play. Chase Young is back for the Commanders defense at 2,400. I don't mind that as a long shot defense at 2,400. Chase Young is probably going to get a sack or two at least, put some pressure on Purdy. This is his toughest test, in my opinion, all year long. Kittle's a reach. They may need him to block, especially with Chase being on the other side. So I'm out on the tight ends altogether. Ayuk, I think, might be sneaky, 6,300. The Washington defense is tough on the front seven and linebacking core, but the cornerbacks are not like you see, they're ranked 16th. So Ayuk and Jennings are not bad plays. Samuel and Dotson on the other side. McLaurin is priced up a little too much. He's still a good play, but I think you get the same kind of similar upside spending less on Dotson and Samuel, and it's not like they don't get the same amount of targets. And you know McLaurin is going to get all the attention. Other thing, Travarius Ward, I think their best corner is still in concussion protocol. So if he is ruled out, I like this Washington receiving game anymore. I don't think I'm rushing out to stack Heineke, but I do like one-off pieces with each of Samuel and Dotson. So that'll do it for the matchups / strategy / last-minute injuries, player updates, and all that good stuff. I want to wish everybody once again Merry Christmas. Thanks for the support. Much appreciated. Stay warm, stay safe. Don't go out if you don't have to in this shit. It's nuts. And until the next video, we'll see you soon. Thank you.